This explainer exists because a lot of Australian businesses, especially those in highly regulated industries, are comparing Microsoft Copilot and Sunny AIOS as if they are alternatives to each other. But here is the honest truth. They're not. They are entirely different categories of product. Comparing them directly is leading a lot of IG decision makers and practice principals down a path of serious frustration. So today we're going to look honestly at what each product actually is, where each one genuinely wins, and give you a really clear framework for deciding what your business actually needs. Okay, let's dive into this core tension right away. Comparing these two systems directly is a complete architectural misalignment. On one side, you have a productivity layer. On the other, an AI operating system. And listen, if you deploy a productivity layer expecting it to fundamentally run your complex business operations, you are going to be disappointed. And frankly, that's not a failure of the software. That's a failure to understand the category. Think of it like this. Comparing Copilot to Sunny is kind of like comparing a really, really good set of noise-canceling headphones to a master-controlled sound system for an entire building. Both involve audio, sure, but they do fundamentally different things. The headphones, they are incredibly valuable for the individual wearing them. They improve that one person's focus and output. But the building sound system is structural infrastructure that coordinates the flow of information across every single room, ensuring the right message gets to the right place at exactly the right time with a fully logged record of exactly what was broadcast. So let's look exactly at what Microsoft Copilot actually is. It is an AI productivity layer. It sits right on top of the Microsoft 365 ecosystem, and it's designed to do one primary thing: improve individual speed inside your existing workflows. And I really want to be incredibly clear here, speaking as someone who actually uses both of these products, Copilot is a brilliant piece of engineering. It is an exceptionally good product for what it was built to do. Look, if you're an operations manager and your main goal is to help individuals work faster inside their own silos, Copilot is an excellent choice. It's fantastic at drafting emails in Outlook, summarizing those seemingly endless Teams meetings we all sit through, and generating first drafts of documents in Word. It basically accelerates the exact workflows your team is already doing inside the Microsoft ecosystem. Simply put, it makes the individual faster. And when you realize that the average knowledge worker spends nearly 60% of their day just on work coordination, reading emails, hunting for documents, Copilot claws a lot of that valuable time back for the individual. But here is where the frustration happens. The friction that Copilot users often feel isn't because Copilot is broken. Not at all. It happens because the business has quietly shifted from low-stakes AI experimentation to needing robust operational AI, but they haven't changed their toolset. Experimentation is when one person uses a tool to summarize a completely non-sensitive document. Operational AI, on the other hand, is when an AI system becomes part of how actual regulated work gets done. It's when outputs inform client financial decisions, when agents handle inbound legal queries, or when automation touches your core compliance workflows. And that brings us to the unseen costs of unsecured AI. When you try to force personal productivity tools to handle highly sensitive client data in regulated Australian businesses, you start quietly compounding structural risk. First up, you face data exposure, because off-the-shelf tools often route your inputs through offshore infrastructure. Second, you face compliance drift. Think about it. When an AI generates advice without a clear, auditable trail of exactly how it arrived at that answer, you completely lose your accountability framework. And third, you get operational fragility. You end up with this patchwork of team-by-team tools that is utterly impossible to audit. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the alternative. Sunny AIOS is an agentic AI operating system. It is a true operational engine designed to run the business, not just improve an individual's typing speed. It coordinates multiple agents across business-wide workflows. It has a persistent memory that actually compounds over time. And crucially, this is the big one, it features built-in compliance logging for every single action it takes. Because of this architecture, you get a completely different workflow. We've all been there, right? Your team spends hours every week just reconstructing context, chasing threads across Outlook, your CRM, SharePoint, maybe the phone system. Sunny just connects all of it into one searchable memory. The workflow becomes incredibly simple. You ask one question, Sunny instantly draws the answer from every connected system simultaneously. No more context loss. The agent then drafts a response in your firm-specific voice, and a human gives the final sign-off. It literally acts as one central brain for the entire practice. To show you what an operational engine really looks like in practice, consider this. Sunny doesn't just search your old emails. It actively monitors the law. Depending on your specific profession, Sunny comes preloaded with a standard legislation pack. So if you're in law, you get the Family Law Act or the Corporations Act. Accounting, you're looking at ATO rulings. Financial advice gets ASIC regulatory guides. Every single day, before 9 a.m., Sunny reads the relevant regulatory updates and automatically maps those exact changes directly to your active client matters. This means your firm is equipped with capabilities you simply can't get from a productivity layer. You can think of these as your unfair advantages. Alongside that daily legislation watch, Sunny has a memory that compounds. 6 months in, it knows your pricing rules. It knows your matter patterns. It provides an agent control tower, so every single AI agent running in your firm is completely visible. And I love this part. It features a skills vault. This actually captures your firm's standard operating procedures, things like onboarding a new client or running a conflict check, and turns them into processes the AI executes automatically. Now we have to talk about the compliance anchor. For Australian professional services operating under the Privacy Act 1988 or strict sector-specific frameworks like APRA, CPS 234, data sovereignty is not just some neat marketing feature. It is an absolute, non-negotiable baseline requirement. Sunny processes everything securely onshore utilizing AWS Sydney and Google Cloud Sydney infrastructure. So why does that matter so much? Well, it comes down to how AI actually works under the hood. When you paste a sensitive client brief or a complex financial summary into many public off-the-shelf AI tools, that data often crosses international borders for processing. We call that offshore inference. With Sunny AIOS, your sensitive data never leaves Australian legal jurisdiction, period. It is read-only by default, and every single action is logged with a timestamp, the exact user, the source data, and the reasoning. It makes your firm instantly audit-ready. But hey, don't just take the architectural theory for it. Look at how this applies in the real world. Kai Baldwin runs a veteran-led DVA advocacy practice. They manage thousands of active client files across incredibly complex government frameworks. Kai noted that since deploying Sunny, legislation changes literally never get missed. His team never has to dig through old emails to find a file status, and his clients actually get plain English answers through a portal instead of constantly calling the office. That right there, that is operational transformation, not just an email drafting shortcut. So if your organization is ready to move past AI curiosity and step into real AI capability, there is a very practical roadmap you absolutely need to follow before any tool touches your production data. First, you've got to conduct a capability and data audit to know exactly where your regulatory obligations sit. Second, establish a clear data processing policy from the top down. Third, build your architecture for auditability right from day one. Sunburnt AI actually runs an X-ray workshop specifically designed to map all of this out, surfacing your data exposure way before it becomes a real problem. And because Sunny is a true enterprise-grade system, it adapts to the required control posture of your specific firm. You aren't forced into a rigid, one-size-fits-all box. You can use their managed SaaS for the absolute fastest path to live, all securely hosted in Sydney. If you want a bit more control, they can deploy directly into your own cloud tenant, meaning you hold the keys. Or, for the strictest data residency requirements, you can deploy it fully on-premise. They even offer an air-gapped option if that's what you need. Which brings us to the ultimate question for you and your board to consider. Are you building technical debt, or are you building sustainable speed? Adopting AI tools informally, team by team, creates a fragmented tech stack that is literally impossible to govern. But implementing an AI operating system builds a compounding advantage where every new automation is auditable, secure, and safe. Copilot is a fantastic productivity tool, for sure. But if you need an operational engine built specifically for Australian compliance, you need to make sure you're evaluating the right category. Head over to sunburntai.com.au/sunny-agentic-AI operating system to see exactly where Sunny fits into your firm.